everyone, Jamie Lee here and welcome back to BirdTricks here on YouTube. Today's video, I'm going to talk about how to get your bird to love being in its cage. Mo, you're kind of ruining this. It should be like the Love Bird edition because you're keeping Barry away. So my top tip for getting your bird to love its cage is using treats. I'm all about positive reinforcement here, as well as other parts of the quadrant, because they're always at play, and it's just up to us to recognize that they're always at play and be intentional about the parts that we use. But treats are a great reinforcer and a great way to tell your bird, hey, let's do more of this behavior. So hiding treats on, around, inside your bird's cage is a great way to associate it positively and get your bird to want to earn more treats by going inside. My second tip in getting your bird to love its cage is being consistently inconsistent with how often your bird is in it. If you are very pattern oriented or you are very routine oriented, it may have become predictable to your bird about how long it has to stay in its cage. That's not a good thing. We want it to be where we ask the bird to go in its cage and it's more than willing, because sometimes it's in there 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days. It has no idea because it's always inconsistent, which makes your bird more willing to do it. Another mistake I see people make all the time is by feeding the bird outside of its cage, which makes it so that it never wants to go inside because all the reinforcement is outside of the cage with you. So making sure that you associate their enclosure with meal times is really important. Here at BirdTricks, we recommend doing 2 meals a day, our seasonal feeding system in the morning and our organic pellets in the evening. And when you structure it this way, having those meal times makes it so that your bird is anticipating and looking forward to those and is way more willing to go into the cage, because the cage is the only place that they get these meal times and they get real stoked about it. Next is training your bird to go in its cage as a trick. Just like we say here at BirdTricks that step up is a trick, going in the cage is a trick too. It's a behavior that you want to see more of, so sometimes we need to formally train those things. So making sure that you ask your bird to go in the cage and then you reward it heavily for doing so that it knows that's part of the training session, versus I see a lot of the times where people have a training session that's so fun and rewarding outside of the cage, and then to signal that it's all over and that earning treats is over and the opportunity is going to go away, they go to put the bird back in the cage, and that can kind of seem as punishment because the bird's like, but wait, I don't want to lose the opportunity to earn treats. If they learn that going back in the cage is also part of the training session, they'll be a lot more willing. Another way to positively associate your bird's cage to your bird is by using targeting. Targeting is probably one of our favorite techniques here at BirdTricks because it's a hands-off approach that anyone can do, and it allows your bird to tell you whether or not it wants to do those things, and it gives your bird a lot of control over the scenario of whether or not they're going to target. If you make it worthwhile, they'll target. Targeting your bird in and out of its cage is a great way to allow your bird to come in and out of its own free will. Another thing you can do to make your bird's cage really, really special is by offering foraging type of enrichment. A lot of people might feed pellets in the evening just from foragers alone to make it more time consuming for your bird, give them something to do, mentally stimulate them and physically stimulate them, and give something unique as a reinforcer to the cage alone that they don't have outside of the cage. So they're really looking forward to engaging with those opportunities when they're in their enclosure. If you're having a hard time finding some foraging toys, check out birdtrickstoys.com for some all-natural foragers. They're cute. My last tip for you on getting your bird to love its cage is get a bigger cage. If you are finding that your bird doesn't want to go in the cage, you might need to relook at what is in there, what's offered, and what's unique about it. Maybe you need a bigger, more awesome cage to utilize so that your bird looks forward to spending time in there and so that you have more options of what you can offer as enrichment. If you're looking for more ideas on how you can change your cage setup for your bird, check out our Reviewing Our Subscribers Cage Setup series right here on the channel. It has some really amazing tips and will give you lots of ideas of what other people are doing for their birds to really up the enrichment and make sure that the cage is an awesome place for their bird to be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.